I believe in angels, and I believe in you. I believe in the simple things and everything you do. I believe in the heavens above, and I believe in truth. I believe in the love we have, because I believe in you. So tell me, do you feel the way that I feel? And tell me, would you give what I'm willing to give? I believe in honesty, and I believe it's true. And I believe if you set it free, it will come back to you. And I believe that things were meant to really be. And I believe in the love we have, because I believe in you.
And we are live, icurecancer.com. This is Ian.
I'm here, Ian. Hi.
Wonderful,
Can you hear me?
wonderful, darling. Yeah, yes. So years ago, Cynthia cured herself of cancer, and we were doing a play together, and that's how I learned about it. So basically, I just spout off about it ever since. I thought everybody should know about this. Sure, you can go to your doctor and do chemo, radiation, or surgery, but this is new stuff. If you haven't heard about it, it's called Getting Alkaline. It's called Killing the Cancer Cells with.
Okay, can anyone hear me?
Sorry, Ian fell off. I'll add him back. We're still live.
Well, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're on, Cynthia. Ian fell off.
Okay, well, I'll just talk then.
Yeah.
I probably did that. I did that with my mental powers because I didn't want him on.
We're back with Ian.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I was booted and didn't even know what I was rambling on. I was saying such nice things about you too, Cynthia.
Well, say them again.
Am I there still, or did I lose it again? I'm good, right?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, so we're good. Anyway, well, I'm not sure what you heard. Did you hear me saying that, we are just an information source?
No, you dropped out when you were saying that we were in a play together, and you overheard me saying that I cured myself of cancer with alternative medicine. I just wanted to remind you, because it's so brilliant of you, Ian, is that one time I was interviewing you on my radio show years ago, and you had said, my whole life changed with a whisper. And then I kept reminding you, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And that's why that's on the I Cure Cancer poster.
Right. Yeah. From one little whisper, I found out the cancer was curable, and I got so pissed off at our powers, the powers that be, our leaders. See, I assumed they would be leaders like I would be, which, I never even knew I was worthy of being a leader. But as it turns out, I would be way better than any of them out there, because they're all liars, man. They don't know about honor and integrity like we learned in the martial arts at a young age. But anyway, so all you people out there, we're telling you the truth as we see it. We've done a lot of research, and we would not be wasting our time to tell you garbage. I mean, this is stuff. Cynthia is living proof that alternative cancer healing works. I've watched it umpteen times over the years with my film, I Cure Cancer. So anyway, just FYI, that's what's going on, folks. This is a show for information, and hopefully you will take whatever we tell you or teach you and then come back and teach us. That's what I love the most, when my students come back to me. And boy, do they ever, after 17 years of back and forth. Have you noticed that too? You learn just as much as you teach, Cynthia?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, there's new information every day. And I think that's what we're doing really is, as it's been said, co-creation at its best. There's an endless cure for cancer, and everyone is going, because I got so much pressure years ago to give out my magic formula, exactly every supplement, meditation, etc. I didn't coin it; that it got coined as a formula, and I didn't give the whole thing out because it's going to be a little bit different from each person. We're all individuals, and our DNA is different, and our body makeup and our electromagnetic field is different. And so, this is where the self-empowerment, yes, get all the information and then find out what works for you by trial and error. And also that's where the self-empowerment lies, is that you're becoming your own doctor, your own caretaker, and that's a huge healing in itself.
Yeah, and people, if one thing's not trying for you, remember your body. Just go with your gut instinct. I saw posted on Facebook, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. Like somebody's got cancer, she knows," and she's, "Whoa, there's a million different alternative ways." And I'm like, first of all, probably all of them are good, so don't sweat it. Better to have too many than not enough. Second of all, you just got to find out which ones work. And I brought you up. I said, you use your female intuition or psychic ability, whatever you want to call it. You're very grounded and connected to what's going on. And I tell everybody to do that, because you're right. There's so many alternative methods out there, people. God, you must be freaking out right now. Plus, you got cancer. Just realize that stress is hurting you. So drop the stress right away. Your thoughts make you acidic, just like the food does. So, anyway, I won't preach too much, because we have an amazing guy coming up. Bob Wright is one of our old friends from you and I. We hung out with him at the Cancer Control Society. So I don't know if he's on yet. How are we going to do this,
once again, thank some of my...
Sure.
Go ahead, and I'll come back to you when you're done, Cynthia.
Oh, okay. No. I just wanted to, again, thank everyone so much for all of their donations and work towards my charity. I created a charity, as most of you know, for financial aid if you want to cure yourself with alternative medicine. And there's been, every day, more and more people are stepping up. Got another cameraman, and he was like, I'm kind of a broke camera guy, but if you need anything filmed, I'm here. And that was wonderful. So everybody is just, and that's really what it's about, is do whatever you can and feel good about it, even if that's just spreading the word about the charity. But I just wanted to thank everyone again for being so supportive of this. And it's thrilling. And it's a feel good, you get chills and knowing how many people this can help. And again, just a shout out to what I call my diamond donors, and keep them aware that they also have a light therapy session healing waiting for them. That's something that comes along with the diamond donor. And especially just, wonderful thank you to Christy Clark, who, my buddy from Days of Our Lives, who's been sort of my celebrity endorser on this. And she's really been just so supportive. So I really want to put a special thank you to her.
Yeah, right on. So, and I should I guess I should thank my people too. Thank you very much for your donations and for keeping the stations going, or not the stations, the shows going, and me able to still work towards getting I Cure Cancer Part 2 out. I'm also proud to put my book together. I'm writing a screenplay, that will incorporate martial arts and cancer healing and stuff. So there's a lot of things going on. Cynthia's doing some amazing things too. We're finally putting that together. My friend Chris Ross will be coming in soon, I think, with some serious funding. So what we're trying to do basically is help you guys out, since we know you're probably not going to get it, unfortunately, at your own hospital or doctor in America, due to the situation we're in. And I'm mainly talking about degenerative diseases, of course. I love ERs. They're my favorite place in the world. When I've been in a car accident or a bar fight, I mean, forget about it. But as far as the degenerative disease goes, folks, we're going to stick with the holistic on this station. So I was wondering, did you have any more, Cynthia, before we got to try and get a hold of our guests?
Yeah, no. I just wanted to put that thank you out and let everyone know that you're still able to donate. Some people ask me, well, if the campaign is over, can I still donate? Of course, you can still donate. You can contact me on Facebook or inbox me, and I can show you how to do that.
Exactly. And then, like, my friend Chris Ross, who's putting together this pretty big idea on how to bring money in for people that need write-offs and stuff and want to help out maybe the martial art world and the cancer world. So that I'm really interested in and can't wait to see what's going on with that as well. And I myself, and Chris is actually the executive producer coming in for Hemp Boxer. Most likely, I think we're mainly buddies, but we're just talking. And the Hemp Boxer film is going to combine the martial arts and the how to cure cancer holistically as well without people even knowing. So that will be our next project. And then again, they're going to be, I want to tell you, Cynthia, he's going to be available for people like you too. Like, his company is going to be so huge that basically anybody out there that has to pay the government money because they made money this year, well, they can do it through his company. And, why not choose something like that's going to help, children cure themselves of cancer and things like that. So that's what we've been working on. Now, Vincent, did you... Sorry?
No, right. Ian and I have been so busy, we have a lot to talk about. I don't think our guests have called in yet, if I'm looking at this note correctly. Neither Robert nor...
okay.
I blanked on her name.
Organic Guru Lynette.
Yeah.
I think we have... Okay, we may have told them, I think, quarter after so. But I'm sure Vincent's... Are you handling that, Vincent? Are you do you know what's going on? Have they just not called?
Yeah, they're to call in, both guests, and I'm standing by to add them.
Oh, okay, so I'm sure they will. We may have said quarter after because Cynthia and I usually jibber jabber a little bit, but
yeah.
By the way, what is new with you since the last week? Anything crazy? Exciting?
Yes, it's been a really busy, crazy week. And plus, if anyone's
busy.
Yeah. In case anyone's wondering as well, because a lot of people have been asking me about this, I work with a lot of astrologers as well. And I got the warning that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there was a very interesting planetary alignment and not to mention we're in a retrograde, which to begin with means to slow down and look within and contemplate and some self-honesty and things like that. But then on top of it, those 3 days this week, they warned that like people that don't normally freak out are going to freak out, or anyone who is not able to, some self-examination is going to come out externally. And boy, did it. So I think we have a caller calling in right now. Is that right?
Yes, this is Bob Wright.
Bob, hi.
Perfect.
Hi, it's Cynthia. How are you?
You know what? I am very well,
Hello?
thank you.
Oh, and I think
That's
we
great.
may have Lynette there too. Are you there too, Lynette?
I am.
No?
I am here. Hello, everybody.
Oh, right on. So perfect. We got both our guests at the same time, and it's good timing because I kind of wanted to let Lynette. We had you last week, but I wanted you to sort of talk to us a little bit in the beginning, explain what's coming up with your event, and then we'll get into the deep and dirty stuff, what's new and latest with Bob there. So what you bring us in with the whole, what are we going to be doing in April?
Okay, awesome. Yes, we are having the most unique and amazing health event of the year, which is going to be held in Branson, Missouri, April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It is called the Live Happy, Be Pure event and gala. Now, Bob was there last year. We actually started these events, some of them in Florida, based on the tours that I do across the nation to teach and empower the public about organic and sustainable living via bicycle and support vehicles. So I started doing smaller events and organic festivals in Florida to raise money and to help offset some of the funds that my husband so diligently puts out. So anyway, I decided to embark on bringing a whole wellness facility and all of our wellness advocates together in one place. And I met Bob Wright on one of my tours when I went from Washington to Arizona. And I met Mr. Bob at an event that was being held near Seattle. And we both hit it off very well. He loved my testimony and what I stood for, and I definitely was outreaching to him with his mission. So we joined forces, and he asked me to be their ambassador for his wellness venue that he is in the process of building, the American Anti-Cancer Institute. And, of course, he'll tell you more about that. So with that being said, I decided to start doing events and start going around the country in Mexico to share the word about his organization and about other cancer cures or disorders or anything for that matter, and share with the world what I have learned over my experiences with my own son and my own kidney failures. And so we're doing this event to raise money, obviously to keep the tours going, but to help Bob and his endeavors with the American Anti-Cancer Institute, and also with some more organizations that we are working very closely with, which is going to be some of our speakers. But this event is open to the public. It is the most empowering, life-changing event that you will be to. Just ask Bob Wright, ask Dr. Patrick Vickers, ask Chris Wark. They were there last year, and they had phenomenal experiences. This is the second year.
Yeah.
And we expect double turnout. So we have speakers such as you, Ian, coming in. Of course, Bob Wright, Dr. Patrick Vickers again. Chris Wark will be there. We also have Mary Tocco coming in. She's a national vaccine expert. We have different speakers with testimonies coming in to speak. We have Vince Finelli. You can look on the website, livehappybecure.com, and it will give you the list of speakers that we have. Along with our amazing speakers, Ian and Cynthia, we have some awesome vendors, awesome companies coming in to showcase their products from all across the nation, from Compton Water to Nican to Fresh Products to Health and Beauty, just everything. We are very
let me just jump in. If I may just jump in, your connection is not that good,
please.
So I think we should probably. Yeah, but you got all the main information out there anyway, so I'm thinking we should just jump right into Robert Wright and get into him, just because I don't know. It didn't sound like I could barely hear you, so I'm afraid that our listeners may not have heard you. So we'll repeat all the information and stuff. But thank you, Organic Lynette.
Okay.
We will. Let's talk to Robert real quick now. I was almost going to be there last year, but we couldn't get the funds. This year we were able to, so I'm going to be there with you, Robert. Are you there, man? Hello?
I'm really... Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, so it's going to be fun to see you. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be another great time. I was there last year, and we had a super time. Of course, it was the first year. And, we had to break this thing in, and this year I think it's going to be much extended and just be a terrific show. And there's some really great people coming out there, people who understand nutrition and wellness and cancer and what it's really all about. And so I was thrilled. I met some people that I hadn't met before. Shan Stratton was up there last year. I met Chris Wark. Of course, I already knew Chris, and Dr. Patrick Vickers, who I've included in the new third edition of my book. I'm so impressed by him. So it's going to be a good crowd, and I'm really looking forward to speaking out there again this year.
Yeah, right on.
Yes, absolutely.
Now,
we're looking forward to all of you.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Now, I wanted to ask you, I sent you an email recently. Have you been working on that? Remember that one video you put out and you're teasing everybody about an amazing new product and stuff? I can't remember if we've ever gotten back to that. Did you, you know what I'm talking about?
Well,
I emailed you recently. Do you remember?
I'm not sure in that I got that email, but to answer your question, you're talking specifically about the Prima Nuvera, I think, which is our South American planet, correct? Yeah, and we're, in the process of developing that. As you know, we've been seeking years now, and this trust has been delayed and delayed and delayed, but we finally have great news, and it's going to, they've really partnered up with us and they're going to help us, build beyond what we had even believed that we could do. And so we're going to be in quite a great position to move forward with the Prima Nuvera and finally finish it up. We need about 120 days to finish it up. Of course, we'll have to introduce it in Mexico at one of our satellite wellness centers because it's given by intramuscular injection, and we'll never be able to do that in the United States, of course. So, but
right.
yeah, we're excited about that, and it's going to come to fruition here very shortly, along with a lot of the other things that we've been planning, the regional ambassador centers and the satellite wellness centers, and now we're looking at two major campuses, one in the Northwest and one in the Southwest.
Yes, I'm glad you're bringing that up. Let's skip over that little supplement issue, or not issue, point. That's great that you guys have come up with probably one of the best supplements around, but you have a huge project involved here where you want to bring together a lot of people, build schools, build hospitals properly that actually have real medical care where if you go to the hospital, you're probably going to come out well as opposed to not, which is sort of the case now when it comes to degenerative disease. Am I correct?
Well, that's exactly right. We need to have it's kind of a misnomer. Hospitals, wellness centers. I like wellness centers because these are the places that people go not just to have their symptoms looked at and treated like what happens in hospitals, but actually to have delivered the real care that brings people to healing, and that's largely, as most of us know now, the proper treatment of the human immune system, because it will heal you no matter what. So we're thrilled about that opportunity, and also bringing this natural wellness and natural healthcare community together, because there's a lot of us doing this now, but we're all kind of fragmented and out there doing our own thing. And our goal is to bring all of this together to make us really a force to be reckoned with as far as conventional medicine is concerned. And the FDA and the pharmaceutical companies, they have a field day picking off these small organizations like Camelot Cancer Care and others one by one, because they're small and really can't afford to defend themselves, even though they're doing the right things for wellness and for cancer patients.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's so true. That's so true, Bob. That's awesome that you're doing that. We are a bit out there fragmented, and yeah, you know what I mean? I think that's a great idea to gather us all together, or as many as possible, so that, you know what I mean, it is a force to be reckoned with. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, there's not it's too scattered right now.
It really is scattered, but we have to be encouraged by so many things that are going on now. And Lynette's a part of this, the fight against GMOs, and to really learn what's in our food and what's in our soils, and have the opportunity to raise organic food. And for those who want to drink milk, to be able to drink raw milk. And we need to have these freedoms in our country, and we need to take a hard, long at what we do, what we put in our bodies and on our bodies, because those are the things that will tell us if we get cancer or some other sickness. And I'm just very encouraged by what's going on in our country today, because it seems like we've kind of reached the pinnacle of where conventional medicine is going to continue to control this thing, and we're starting to roll in the other direction. And I think all of us should be encouraged by that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We are in the age of Aquarius.
I'm really encouraged by it. Yeah. I just want to ask a technical question. Am I the only one that is hearing a delay?
We have a little bit of a delay.
No,
yeah. I'm hearing everything okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I think it's a little bit weird, but yeah. And Bob's connection is not the greatest. Are you calling in on a phone, Bob, or are you Skype, or?
No, I'm calling on a cell phone, a 4G cell phone, which maybe in 3G right now. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. We'll try and next time we'll try and get you on Skype. That seems to be the best way. But so far we're doing good. Okay, but you brought up a good point, and that's there's not enough of us. But what's funny is when I first started making this documentary back in I think it was 2002 or 2003. The statistics were about 60% of the human beings now were seeking alternative treatments as opposed to the Western medicine. But as you're saying, it's so scattered and spread out, you never know we're the majority. You'd think we were the minority because we're being run by Western medicine. But I think with this project you're putting together and just everybody collaborating, this is going to happen eventually. Sooner or later, we're going to get all our ducks in a row and be able to change things. And so what's new with yours since the last time we talked? I've talked to you a number of times, and it's always, we're so close to getting this money, and it's ready to blow. Has it blown yet? Is it almost blowing? What's the deal with ACI?
Well, we're really encouraged with it now. It's, of course, we've had many false starts, and the trust had thought that they were going to be able to fund us, and we've heard that so many times now that it's like crying wolf. We're not sure what to believe. But something of this size was kind of wrapped up in politics, and so it's finally been all adjudicated and ruled to go forward by the Supreme Court of the state that it's in. And so we've met with actually the main beneficiary of the trust and got the assurances that we finally needed. And so we're very much looking forward to about the beginning of April for all of this funding to start flowing for us. So right about the time we're at the at Lynette show, we're probably going to have some really good major announcements to make, and so we're pretty thrilled about that. But so we've just been hanging in there, Ian, trying to continue to build infrastructure until such point as we really can't go any further now without the funding. All the plans are laid now, and we're going to have an ability within 180 days of funding to have grown absolutely exponentially, because all the plans are in place. We just need to fund them and get them moving now. So, and again, that does include a process by which we pull all of the natural health community together, and we have an idea of how that happens, and we really need to do that. And so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Are you thinking of like bringing Mercola together, Mike Adams together, anybody, all of our friends that we can think of, the cancer control side, that kind of thing? Is that what you're thinking? Or like you think you build it and they will come? What's your strategy?
That's definitely part of it. And, when we look at what we do individually, we're not that far apart. Some of us believe some things that are slightly different than others. I have cancer patients all the time that want to create their own protocol. They want to say, well, I want to do a little bit of what Chris Wark does. I want to do a little bit of eating the right food. I want to drink the right water. I want to take these supplements. I want to do this. And by the way, Bob, I'll do this that you recommended too, without understanding that they're making this thing way too complex. And, a common layperson can't necessarily pick and choose, but it's the problem that we have today is people really don't understand. There's too much conflicting information. So by bringing this whole thing together in kind of it's not like we'll be all crammed into one ball. It's like we'll be a huge organization that has its separate arms, and we're just attached gradually or slightly, you might say. But we all have the same goals and missions in mind, and we work together under kind of an umbrella. And some people may not want to do that, and we've seen that in the past. Someone has a supplement, and they're interested in selling their supplement. They don't care about what anyone else does. Well, our thought is that it's okay. We understand that, but we still have to be all, in some way, shape, or form, part of the greater whole and the greater good. And the idea is, how do we accomplish that? And I think we've got some ideas on how we do that.
Now, I have a question for you, Bob. I actually have two questions for Bob because, Bob and Ian have had dialogue and whatnot. I'm not clear. Something big is going to happen for you with the funding, but I'm not clear. Is this going to be like a healing center, or is it going to be, and I was wondering, the second question, if you would repeat this plant that started with a P, what you're doing with that for our listeners who are not 100% up to speed on what you're doing and what you and Ian are talking about right now?
Yeah, thanks, Cindy. We need to clarify it. It's so big, that's why.
Yeah, it's actually, when you look at it, it's really what someone might call a grand undertaking. But it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about the American Anti-Cancer Institute, incidentally, which is now morphing into the International Wellness and Research Center. And we're bringing on another 501c3 that we're kind of molding into who we are. So we'll still continue to be a nonprofit center under the IRS 501c3 code. But the idea is we're going to build two very large campuses. One will be a U.S. center, one will be a world center. And this will be designed with its own university, its own huge wellness center, which some people might call a hospital. We prefer to call it a wellness center. It will have its own event center on the property, its own hotel, its own huge spa center, a health and exercise center. It's really large, and we'll be able to identify that even more as we move forward. And I don't want to get into all the intricacies of it now, but it is planned. And the first campus is one with at least 14 major buildings on it, encompassing about, well, at least 100 acres. And we plan to duplicate that in the Southwest as well as creating satellite wellness centers that are much smaller. And we've already identified 4 cities where we're going to do that almost immediately. And we're going to develop 4 regional ambassador centers too. We also have ambassadors, regional ambassadors and state ambassadors for what we do. Lynette is our regional ambassador for the central region in Springfield and Branson. And we're going to develop these into actual centers. They won't be typically wellness centers, but they'll be education and preventative centers with products and all kinds of things. So it will be the AACI, the International Wellness and Research Center, kind of extension campus in these 4 different regions. We're looking at a satellite wellness center. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just wondering where the big major one, what is it in the U.S. and what state, or have you identified that yet? The big one that you're talking about.
Well, we're planning the first one for up in the Seattle area, just north of Seattle, and the second one will probably be in the Southwest. We've identified an area, perhaps in the Las Vegas area, for the 2 major campuses, and we've identified satellites in probably 4 different states right now, plus one on the beach in Baja, so that we can bring the Americans we can't necessarily do in the United States. And we're also looking at South America for a satellite right now.
Okay,
good, because that may be the only place that we can live coming up if Fukushima goes.
Sadly, yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah, sadly. Well, so we're thinking Washington's the big one, right? Washington.
Yeah, that's the first one that we. Sorry. Yeah, it's the first one that we planned because most of us are right now, many of us located up in this area. Although we've got some other people scattered around the U.S., but many of us are located up here, and this is where the main planning has been done to date. And so we've already selected property, but we're just making sure that we have the right place right now with all of the things that we want to do in this world type center, so that it can be a gathering place where people can come to, including his own performing arts center within the university. We'll be able to offer degrees within the university and have it be an education and prevention center as well. And so this is where we'll probably start building as far as the main campus goes first of all, but following it directly will probably be the one in the Southwest. And we plan to, if everything goes according to plan, to get this done as rapidly as possible, not linger for many years, but to build these on the QT so that we can have them operational. We need to be able to help more and more people. It's not about just being big. It's about having the capacity to educate more and more people and to bring to healing and wellness more and more people.
Absolutely.
And
This
is
is
that where
amazing.
you're
Such
located,
good stuff.
Bob? Are you located up in the Seattle area, Bob? Is that your main place, main home?
Yes, we're located up in Everett, Washington right now, which is just straight up the I-5 corridor, about 25 miles from Seattle.
I see. And
Nice.
then also, I was just wondering if you could clarify, you were talking about some plants, and for those of us who aren't familiar and people who are listening and always looking for new, cures and whatnot, could you tell us a little bit more about this plant that I think you said it was in South America and you're doing extract, and I wasn't clear if you're looking to grow it here in the States. I wasn't sure about that and what it was.
Well, we call this extract Prima nivera, and we actually named it that. And this is an extract that was utilized in the late 60s and early 70s in a clinical trial in a South American hospital. The last remaining who was part of this trial is with us now. And we have all of the formulations. We have the mother extract. We know exactly how to put it together. And that's what we're in the process of doing. But and I'll let you read this. In the third edition of the book, which comes out this next week, I actually discuss this in the book about what the Prima nivera is and what it has done for people. It's really astonishing. Of course, it was so effective that it was shut down after about a year or two of the clinical trial, and everyone saw results on this extract. It was incredible. All were out of pain, and this was with end-stage cancer patients, literally thousands of them, and all of them were out of pain within 24 to 48 hours completely. So we're going to introduce this extract as a pain reliever, but it has a pretty nasty side effect with it, and that side effect is that all of the patients went into permanent remission.
Right. The side effect is a cure
is that
cancer.
The nasty side effect?
Hate it when that happens. Yeah, you hate it when that happens too, right?
That lousy?
And what do you mean by
But,
where the studies being done? With studies being done here and it was shut down, is that what you mean?
Yeah, it was closed down at that point by the powers that be because it was a direct affront at that point to conventional medicine. Even as only as advanced as it was back in the late 60s and early 70s, of course, it was still, using drugs and chemo and radiation and that type of thing. And so, because of that, most people think it was lost and it was done. And as recently as about 4 or 5 years ago, we came into contact with it and basically have procured all the rights to the Prima nivera. Although we don't really want the rights, we want the world to have the rights and be able to use this product. So because of that, we're going to do the things necessary to protect it and to get it out into other countries so it has the opportunity to be protected. Because if we someone an intramuscular injection in the United States on a plant extract, that will go directly to jail because it will be classified as an unapproved drug. So we will not introduce it in the United States, but we will within our own research center do further testing on it after we bring it back in its original form to discover if we can use it transdermally as with DMSO, or if we can make it into a supplement within a capsule, because those would be legitimate and legal within the United States, but an intramuscular injection would not.
Right. Well,
so
cool.
if someone was wanting to seek this out, and if they were wanting to get the injections, then they would have to go down to your clinic in Baja or somewhere else out of the country.
That is correct. And as we get closer to having this, we just ask people to stay in touch with our free monthly newsletters and to our website, because as we get closer, we've already built a website for Prima nivera, and we just we tested it, and all we have to do is turn it on. And we'll be doing that as well as making announcements on our website. So we just ask people to continually look at it, and pretty soon you'll be able to see a schedule, locations, et cetera.
Yes, and would you mind telling us
so that's a
slowly,
product anyway,
if you will,
and not down
what the name of that website is? Because Yeah, I was just wondering if Bob could tell us kind of slowly, because of the cell phone, his voice is just bouncing just a bit. So if, he wanted to give us that website slowly, the address to the website right now.
Okay, yeah, our website is AmericanACI.org. American ACI, that stands for Anti-Cancer Institute.org. And you can go there. That's where we sell the third edition of our book. Please order that because we're partially funded by that. I gave that book to the ACI so that you get a profit from it. And right there you can just scroll down on the homepage and you'll see the Right Stuff, WRIGHT Stuff. That's the name of the newsletter. And all you have to do is enter your name and email and it will come to you automatically, electronically, the first day of the month.
Okay, and just for those of you who, because for me, Bob kind of cut out a little bit there, Vincent, who is a genius, has already posted it. I'm going to post it on all of my web pages, and I'm sure Ian will too. But just for the listeners who are interested in this, again, it's AmericanACI.org. And you can also there, because that was my next question, but Bob already answered it for me, you can buy his new fabulous third edition book. Is there other websites that you'd like to give us, Bob, or are there other places where we can buy your new book?
Well, largely we sell it through our site since it is a fundraiser. We're not selling it on Amazon now because it is a fundraiser, and through Amazon you don't make much with it. And so we're trying to maintain it as a fundraiser for our organization. There are some people who buy some books and we'll put some up on Amazon. We prefer you buy through our site, but you're okay to buy anywhere. And occasionally there's a co-op or health food store that will buy a few cases of the books and they'll offer them as well. There's not too many of those yet, but there may be more. So just go to our website. It's the best way to do it. We use PayPal as the money transfer point. It's very, very secure, and you can do it right there, and it's very easy to do.
Okay, cool. Well, let's jump in. That's cool. We got all of the stuff, the information. Go to the event page that I have on Facebook as well, or any of our pages. Let's get into some stuff. This is great to see where you've come. You're about to open up one of the biggest things ever. Let's go back to the grassroots. How did you get into cancer in the first place? And let's start helping some of the people out there right now that have cancer. Let's give them some love, some confidence that they're on the right path with this holistic thing. What brought you to the table, and what have you been doing and stuff?
Well, I got into this cancer deal because my mom and dad both died of cancer, and I've been doing a lot of things in this industry for many, many years, and studied cancer for many, many years. And my mom died within 3 weeks of being diagnosed, and my dad died over 16 years. And so I've seen the polar ends of this cancer deal, and I've studied it at length, and I'm just really in shock that our country still treats cancer with poisons and radiation and surgery, which have, as those of us in the know who studied this, realize that those things have no chance of healing cancer patients. 97%, of those people are dead in 5 years who go through chemotherapy. And cancer is not that hard. When you study it, you understand how people get cancer. Doctors don't understand it. If they did understand it, they'd have a better grasp on how to heal it. But of course, they're tied into the standard care too. They can't operate outside of that, or they'll lose their license. But this is something we really need to turn around, because cancer is very, very straightforward and simple once you get to understand it. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to talk about this when I'm out in Branson, it's so simple that people miss it. They miss it altogether because they don't believe it can be that straightforward and simple. And that becomes a hard part. The simplicity becomes the hard part that people just can't get past, that will help them to heal their cancer. It's easy to sit on a gurney and have someone pump chemo into your arm. That's pretty easy, but the results are devastating. Now, to do what you need to do to heal your cancer is not necessarily real easy to do because, you know, of the life we have begun to lead with all the fast foods and the way that we live today. But it's the most straightforward way to heal the human body and to keep it well. And I'm going to touch on that when I'm out in Branson, because people need to get the truth and the straight story. You know, we can't heal cancer in hospitals. Doctors can't heal cancers, and people need to know this, and then they need to know the formula that works. And we know what that is
today. And that's
today.
basically in the kitchen, right? The kitchen, you're going to tell me it's food, right? Let thy food be thy medicine be thy food. Is that where you're going?
Well, that's the first place I'm going, because if you don't have a proper diet, your chances of healing from cancer diminish exponentially, because we know that it's largely what we eat that helps us to acquire this sickness in the first place. So that's one of the 4 pillars that we outline, that if you don't do that, your chances go down. If you don't detox, your chances go down. If you don't take the right supplementation, your chances go down. If you don't drink the right fluids, your chances go down. So we've put together 4 pillars, and I can tell you what, that each one of these pillars of and by itself has brought many, many people, thousands of people to healing, each one individually. We put them together in a synergism, and we are totally convinced if you follow this protocol, which is straightforward and simple, and you have an immune system left in your body that hasn't been destroyed by conventional medicine, you will probably heal.
Right.
Yeah, I have something funny. I think, Bob, you'll find this very funny, is that when I was studying, when I was diagnosed with terminal cancer and I started studying it myself, 2 funny things. I was sort of like, wow, you know, just looking at my own immune system and knowing that my own immune could, you know, cure this cancer. And, you know, then I kind of, in my words, built a secondary immune system, blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of like, it can't be this simple, you know, and especially for a blonde like me, it can't be this simple. And I think that you'll think this is very funny, Bob, is that one of the things I did was I sought out one of the most wonderful dear physicist microscopists. He introduced the supplements to me that I still take today. And what he did in the old days, now this was again 17 years ago, he would take, he would take his microscope and jimmy it up so you plug it into your TV screen, his TV screen, so you could actually with your own eyes see what your blood cells were doing. And, you know, he said, just looking at your blood, Cynthia, I can see you're very, very ill. And what he did was that, one of the things is that I needed a really good antioxidant. And actually, I know there's a big controversy going on with supplements now that they're not small enough to get into the cell. Well, what he did was he pricked my finger at the blood. He said, look at the white blood cells, you know, they're not doing anything. Then I took these antioxidants, just one, and waited 15, 20 minutes. He pricked my finger again. And then all of a sudden, zip, 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 my white blood cells are doing what they're supposed to do. They're running all over the place, including, you know, destroying the free radicals. And the next, or 2 days later, when I went for more tests with my, you know, Western medicine top oncologist right there in Beverly Hills, considered one of the best in the business, it was weird because he said to me, it was like he was almost testing me because, you know, and he was asking me these questions because at that point he knew that I was going to go alternative. And I said, you know, well, it's just, you know, he goes, what cures cancer? And I said, your own immune system. And he's like, yes. And I said, okay, yes. And he goes, but we don't know how to do that. And I just looked at him because 2 days before I just, you know what I'm saying? So I thought you'd get a big kick out of that story. Needless to say, that was the last time I saw that guy.
And needless to say, yeah, that's exactly right. They don't understand the immune system. They don't understand how food plays into that. They claim to know about the human genome and about epigenetics. Epigenetics mean the way that genes actually talk to each other and are activated and expressed and not activated and expressed. And yet they don't seem to get the connection despite volumes and volumes of studies on epigenetics and actually nutrients that turn off and on genes. And so it's just shocking to me that they can't make the leap, but they don't seem to be willing or able to do that.
Or both. Absolutely. Well, I just, you know, kind of piggybacking on what Bob said too, I do think that things are going very well and moving in the right direction just because now And everybody knows ITs, but the Dr. Oz show, I don't know, I keep my eye on that because Dr. Oz has a research team that could occupy France, frankly. It's pretty big, and so he's doing his best to stay on cutting edge. His whole show, I don't know if you guys know, all of his shows are pretty much all on natural-based remedies now. So I was looking at this going, wow, okay, if Dr. Oz, because, he too is just, he just needs the ratings. So that's a very telling that, he's going to provide what the people want to see. And if, everyone's tuning in constantly to hear natural means of health, it's really a huge, turn from what I was witnessing, 16, 17 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't, I haven't, watched Dr. Oz in some time. I know he got in trouble and this was a while ago because he was venturing too far away from conventional medicine and they were trying to rein him in. And that comes from the sponsors, of course, who pay all the big money for these big network shows. And so I'm delighted to hear that he's going off the deep end into the natural and alternative therapies. And when you can get that, and big time network TV.
He won that battle. And while we have you here, I want to ask you if you could just, I got my eye on the time and whatnot, but because we have your genius here, he won the battle and it's still mostly natural. But then there was a big controversy because he was about a year or so really pushing the omega-3s until then, and fish oil omega-3s until the big news broke that some omega-3s, or people are claiming, I don't know, that they can give cancer and that what you need is the omega-6s. And we've had Brian Peskin on a couple of times talking about the omega-6s. And I was wondering what your thoughts on that were.
Well, I was very interested. It's been probably 2 years ago when I read Brian's study about the omega-6s and how we have adulterated the omega-6s today in all of our foods, and so they really aren't any good for us. But he says when we can get pure omega-6s that they are very important to us, and we need more of the pure, unadulterated omega-6s, and I agree with that. And here's the problem, whether we're talking about omega-3, 6s, or 9s, or we're talking about vitamins and mineral supplements, you look at the studies that are done through the National Institutes of Health and other areas that are doing these studies or trials, and they always sabotage themselves in one way or another. And largely it's by using synthetic forms of the vitamins or using not enough of the vitamins. And this is, I think you're going to see this come up even again with vitamin D3 because we're all on vitamin D3 now, right? And saying we need more and more of it. But unfortunately, we're going to the stores and buying vitamin D3 that probably isn't that good for us. We might get some initial bump from it, but in the long term, is it affecting us internally and affecting our ability to naturally make the D3 within our body from the sunlight and the cholesterol? These are things that there's studies going on right now that I think we need to look very closely at. And so I think we need to be careful that we get the purest form of supplementation, the purest form of vitamins and minerals and supplements that we can possibly get our hands on. Because when man makes things, he usually destroys them. And it's true with cod liver oil today, which is a very rich source of the omega-3s and the fish oils and the D3 and the pure D3 and vitamin A, probably the last two purest forms on earth today, that are in foods. And most companies are making cod liver oils now by taking out the natural DNA and putting vitamin D and vitamin A and putting in synthetics. And the American public doesn't know this. And so we need to make sure, that's why I forward Blue Ice fermented cod liver oil made by Breeding Pasture, because it's, as far as I know, one of the last best ones on earth. So we need to be careful. But I think that with this and these omega-6s that Brian Peskin is spot on with that, and I was very interested when he published that.
Good. Thank you. I really wanted to hear your point of view on that. And I was told, again, back to my dear physicist, he's the one that taught me how to read labels. And you know what I'm saying? Especially if they don't have the source, of, you know, where they're drawing the supplement or whatever, you know, that's a big warning sign. So learning to read labels is so important, and looking for the warning signs, and also, you know, what's not on the back of that bottle.
Yes, very important.
Yeah. Now we do have 5 minutes left. Organic Guru Lynette Marie, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Is this better? Can you hear me?
Much better. Yeah. Just give us a quick 30, 60 seconds to repeat the basic info if people want to meet us there in Branson, Missouri, April 3rd.
Yes, April 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we're having the gala and the organic festival, so you will get to hear and see Bob Bright in person. You'll get to hear testimonies from other speakers in person, such as Dr. Vickers and Chris Wark, and my testimony. This is the event to come to that you don't want to miss, empowering people, empowering speakers, and awesome informative information that could help save your life or the life of a loved one at our Live Happy, Be Pure, Hungry for Health Gala and Festival. It is kid-friendly. We do have a kids' corner for the 2-day event. We do ask that ages 15 and above at the gala, please, because it's going to be a black tie dinner gala, and we don't, you know, those deals. So anyway, please don't miss this. You can't afford not to come to this event. That is what I will say to you. We have people coming from Washington to California to on the website livehappybepure.com.
Right.
Get your tickets because we are selling those out. We do need RSVPs because of the dinner option, the farm to table. So please do that.
Right on. You're kind of going in and out there, but I think we got most of it. So awesome. That's good. We got it. Thank you very much, Lynette. Thank you. Okay.
Awesome.
So we
everybody
got
have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Lynette, and I'm definitely looking forward to coming in and hanging out with you again, Bob. It's been a while. I'll have my camera with me too, so anybody there wants to be a part of my film I Cure Cancer too, I'll be there shooting stuff for that. Anything you want to end with, Bob, real quick? We got about a minute and a half too.
Well, I'll be happy to see you again, Ian. You know, you being the big movie star that you are now, that I can hang out with you and tell everyone that I know movie star now. So I'm, you know, thrilled with that opportunity. Cynthia, are you going to be there?
You know, I'm not sure. I have been invited to a number of things. This is a very busy weekend, so we're going to have to sort that out. I would love to be there, though. Absolutely.
Well, Ian sent me the Facebook page that had, you know, when we were at the Cancer Control Society last year and we took that picture together, and I sent him an email back saying, well, that's a beautiful woman standing there, but who's the old guy standing beside her?
No, it's William H. Macy. I forgot. I didn't get it. To tell you that I put up that joke when you told me to
I believe in angels, and I believe in you. I believe in the simple things and everything you do. I believe in the heavens above, and I believe in truth. I believe in the love we have, because I believe in you.